that come directly from the rank and file. Christina Wilson, VW's Senior Director of Labour Relations, who is leading negotiations for the company, said in a statement that the automaker has resolved about 90% of the union's wish list. We also need an agreement that will keep Volkswagen Chattanooga competitive so we can secure new product and investment in this plant and community in the future, Wilson said. In our latest offer, we were clear with the UAW about the 23 demands that are just not economically feasible for Volkswagen Chattanooga, including demands that go beyond even what the Detroit 3 agreed to. The UAW has so far refused to withdraw all but one of these demands. It takes two sides making concessions to get a deal done. We are continuing to negotiate and are still hopeful we can reach a deal. The UAW declined to comment for this report. On March 13th, the union said it filed unfair labor practice charges against VW with the National Labor Relations Board, saying the automaker is trying to cut jobs in Chattanooga. A VW spokesperson later said the plant's production schedule is being reduced from 3 shifts to 2 in response to sluggish electric vehicle demand. The company is offering production workers a voluntary attrition program that includes severance, retirement options, and benefits, the spokesperson said. UAW President Sean Fain, in a statement, UAW President Sean Fain, in a statement, blasted the move as the anti-union, anti-worker, and anti-American conduct. Stephen Sylvia, a professor at American University and author of the UAW's Southern Gamble, organizing workers at foreign-owned vehicle plants, said VW's conditional offer and the union's NLRB complaint could signal that a deal is getting closer as the sides ratchet up pressure on each other. I think both sides want to get it done at this point, as Sylvia said. It's just a question of getting to a number they can agree to. The NLRB says workers can call for a decertification vote starting 1 year after certification of an organizing election if 30% sign a petition. Art Wheaton, a labour expert at Cornell University, said that's a highly unlikely since less than 30% opposed the UAW in last April's election and there's been no sign of growing discontent during bargaining. Most workers, he said, appear willing to wait out the talks for improved wages and benefits. There's an awful lot more protection under a collective bargaining agreement than without one, Wheaton said. Experts say the two sides will likely continue to narrow the gap on their economic differences until they reach a deal. If the negotiations come to an impasse, the union could deploy the strike tactic it used to get more money from the Detroit 3 in 2023. It's unclear how much longer the negotiations could go on. The Trump administration's threat of tariffs on imported goods from Canada and Mexico starting April 2nd could be a wild card that delays an agreement. VW has a significant manufacturing presence in Mexico, where it built 61% of the vehicles sold at US dealerships in 2024. The automaker might want to wait for more clarity on what the trade landscape will look like before committing to higher labor costs. No one wants to sign a contract now, Wheaton said. It's just too big of an issue. Title, a Volkswagen's top US marketer on its SNL sponsorship and EV strategy. Content. After striking a deal to become a presenting sponsor of the 50th anniversary season of Saturday Night Live, Volkswagen had the opportunity to make custom content with the show. Then came the potentially hard part, deciding which of the hundreds of iconic SNL comedic sketches to redo in an ad. But for VW, it was an easy choice. The Californians, a satirical soap opera that first aired in 2012, aligned perfectly with the brand's deep connections to the Golden State, including its historical ties to hippie and surfing culture. Californians themselves have embraced Volkswagen and truly have kind of built the DNA of the brand, as said Rachel Zaluzak, VW of America's Senior Vice President of Customer Experience and Brand Marketing. The spot, which debuted February 14 on Peacock during the SNL 50, the Homecoming concert, features former SNL cast members Fred Armisen, Bill Hader, and Kristen Wiig reprising their roles from the sketch while subtly plugging VW's new ID Buzz, an electric minivan inspired by VW's 1960s microbus. Sign up to get our afternoon video email. The video focuses on a new topic in the news each day. Part of that involves aligning customer experience initiatives with marketing. Zaluzek is an expert on the topic. After joining the automaker's human resources department in 2008, she transitioned to take on multiple jobs involving customer support, loyalty programs, and digital strategy. After assuming the brand marketing role in January 2023, she prioritized integrating the marketing and customer experience teams, and not just from a leadership and team dynamics perspective, but from a priorities perspective, as she said. Because they were very disparate before. EA. In this episode of the Ally All Ears podcast, Aaron Lee, Senior Director at Ally Dealership Insurance, discusses the growing threat of cyber attacks on dealerships and the importance of staying vigilant. He shares essential tips for safeguarding against these risks and highlights the need for specialized cyber insurance coverage to protect your business. A lot of it involves credibility and making sure that if we're putting a message out there, it doesn't contradict anything that currently exists, because we wouldn't want something to get called out by a current owner, as she said. For instance, before running an ad that targets a particular population, such as people who do not speak English as a primary language, VW would want to ensure it has the customer service systems in place to support that group. So thinking about the ownership experience before we're thinking about the marketing experience, as she said. In the podcast, Zaluzak also discusses VW's marketing approach for electric vehicles, a segment that has yet to live up to the hype industry-wide. Volkswagen this year cancelled plans to bring the ID.7 electric sedan to the US and Canada, citing the ongoing challenging EV climate. VW's US EV lineup includes the ID Buzz and ID for compact crossover, but it does not yet offer gasoline-electric hybrids in the States, which have proved to be a popular powertrain choice for American buyers. Beyond the SNL campaign, marketing for the ID Buzz has included an optimistic, joyful, and colourful campaign from agency Johannes Leonardo backed by Elaine Stritcher's 1956 recording of "Are You Having Any Fun?" Zaluzak said ID Buzz marketing is not only promoting the EV but acts as a brand halo that benefits VW's entire portfolio. It talks here as much about the brand as it does about electric vehicles, as she said. Title: EVs outperform ICE EVs on lifetime emissions, study finds.